Under the cover of Tehran's night, the last known nuclear scientists slip into hiding. Iran says it's for their safety. Israel says it's hunting the architects of a bomb. What unfolds next could decide the fate of the Middle East. The Islamic Republic of Iran has relocated its surviving nuclear scientists to safe houses in Tehran and northern Iran, after Israel's June strikes killed several of them. British newspaper. The Telegraph, citing a senior Iranian official, reported that most of the nuclear scientists are no longer living in their homes or teaching at universities, but in secure villas in the coastal regions of the country. The Telegraph wrote that it has been shown the names of more than 15 of these surviving scientists on a list of about 100 held by Israel, whom the Israelis say must now decide whether to continue their work and risk further strikes or find a new career. Iran has raced to restructure its protection arrangements for scientists since the war, which led to the killing of several prominent scientists and researchers, many specializing in nuclear physics and radiopharmaceuticals.
Most of them are no longer living in their houses. They are either moved to safe houses in Tehran or to the north. Those who were teaching at universities are replaced with people who have no connection with the nuclear program.
An Iranian official told the Telegraph that previously a single Revolutionary Guard unit handled their security, but multiple agencies now coordinate protection due to trust concerns.
They were all asked if they still trust their bodyguards. Some said no and were provided with new ones.
The move follows the execution this week of Roozbeh Vadi, a scientist hanged for providing information to Israel during the 12-day war in June. Vadi had worked at one of the country's most sensitive and important nuclear sites. Iranian officials had said that Vadi had facilitated the assassination of his colleagues during the war. The killings prompted widespread calls in Iran for increased protection of surviving scientists and their families. The strikes targeted Iran's academic and scientific infrastructure, degrading expertise built over decades in nuclear physics, radiopharmaceuticals, and related fields. The killings in June prompted widespread calls in Iran for increased protection of surviving scientists and their families, and calls to reverse officially stated policy and pursue a nuclear bomb. Meanwhile, Israeli experts have described the new generation of Iranian nuclear scientists as dead men walking.
A new generation of Iranian nuclear scientists now stands poised to take over the work of those already killed, despite the increased security that includes safe houses and round-the-clock protection. Iran structured its nuclear research program with each key player having at least one deputy, working in pods of 2 to 3 to ensure redundancy in case of attack.
Tel Aviv fears some of the surviving scientists have replaced their dead colleagues at Iran's nuclear weaponization program at the Organization of Defensive Innovation and Research, known by its Persian acronym SPND. They are said to include scientists with expertise in explosives, neutron physics, and warhead design. Israeli intelligence and defense analyst Ronen Solomon told The Telegraph,
"The figures who remain have worked on adapting Shahab-3 missiles for nuclear warheads and are critical to Iran's ability to deploy nuclear weapons. While the eliminated scientists focused more on warhead design, the expertise in delivery systems makes those who remain equally strategic targets for Israel, as Israel's June 2025 strikes also targeted ballistic missile infrastructure."
According to Israeli intelligence, the knowledge that drives Iran's nuclear program is deeply embedded in the country's universities and academic systems, leading to strikes on Shahid Beheshti University and Imam Hossein University, both in Tehran and both associated with Iran's military and nuclear programs. Danny Katrinowicz, the former head of the Iranian Strategic Desk in Israeli Defense Intelligence, a branch of the Israeli military, said the remaining Iranian experts faced a clear choice.
They saw what happened to their colleagues, and as we learned from 2010 when we eliminated the other scientists, it's not changing their way of thinking in terms of their willingness to support the regime. Those who are left will be at the forefront of any Iranian attempt to reach a nuclear bomb. Hence, they will automatically become targets for Israel, as Israel has shown in the past. I have no doubt about it. Any scientist that deals with the nuclear issue will be eliminated or will be threatened with elimination.
Meanwhile, Tehran's judiciary said on August 9th that Iran has arrested 20 people it alleges are operatives of Israel's Mossad spy agency in recent months, warning that they will face no leniency and will be made an example of. Judiciary spokesperson Asghar Jahangiri told reporters in Tehran that charges against some of the 20 suspects had been dropped and they were released. He did not give a number.
The judiciary will show no leniency towards spies and agents of the Zionist regime, and with firm rulings will make an example of them all.
Executions of Iranians convicted of spying for Israel have significantly increased this year, with at least 8 death sentences carried out in recent months. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has said that US President Donald Trump ordered airstrikes on Iranian nuclear facilities in June in a way that limited the scope of the conflict and avoided a broader war. In an interview with Raymond Arroyo of EWTN's The World Over on August 7th, Rubio said,
"The first thing to understand about that operation was that it was very defined. It was targeted. It wasn't about starting a broader war. It was actually an effort to escalate in order to de-escalate."
On June 22nd, Trump ordered airstrikes on nuclear sites at Isfahan, Natanz, and Fordow 2 days before brokering a ceasefire to a 12-day war in June between Iran and Israel.
It had a very clear objective. He established the objective. His military planners offered him a timeline, and then there were checkpoints along that timeline where we had to go back and check with the president. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Rubio said the planning and execution were calm, with Trump relying on past experience in office to avoid expanding the operation. Once the strikes were complete, Rubio claimed, the president was not inclined to order further attacks or seek additional targets.
He had a very clear objective in mind, and he achieved it. And we immediately pivoted now to our goal. Okay, we achieved this objective. Now how do we end this war on the 12th day and not let it become a regional war?
Separately, Iran's state-run Tehran Times reported on August 8th that Tehran and Washington could begin Norway-mediated talks in August.